Picture this. A defensive tackle nobody believed in last year is now on track to start for the Raiders, and it might completely change how this defense looks in 2026. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why this move could be the smartest thing this coaching staff has done all off-season. Let's be honest. Going into this off-season, the defensive tackle spot was the group everyone worried about on this roster. It felt like the weakest link on the entire defense. But something has shifted at training camp, and that something is second-year defensive tackle Tonka Hemingway. Here's a question for you. What happens when a player nobody expected much from suddenly becomes the best guy in the room? That's exactly what's unfolding right now. Reports out of camp say Hemingway is getting first-team representatives, and coaches are noticing. This isn't hype for the sake of hype. This is a player putting in real work, and it's showing on the field. And trust me, once you see why the coaching staff is buying in, you're going to want to know what one of the top NFL insiders is already saying about him. That's coming up. Rewind to the final 5 games of last season. Hemingway quietly put together a stretch where he racked up 4 sacks. That's not a fluke. That's a young player figuring things out right before our eyes. Add in a strong off-season, and you've got a guy trending in exactly the direction every fan wants to see. Football players who get better every single month are rare. The ones who take that improvement and multiply it into the next season. Those are the players who turn into long-term starters. Right now, all the signs point to Hemingway being one of those guys. But here's where it gets even more interesting. A well-known NFL insider just confirmed something that changes the whole conversation. NFL reporter Albert Bree recently wrote that Hemingway is emerging as a real difference maker, someone with natural athletic tools that scouts noticed even back in college at South Carolina. When a reporter with that level of connections inside the league starts writing about a player, it usually means people inside the building are already talking about him. Think about the timing here too. Since the coaching change earlier this year, this front office has made moves that all seem to connect. They let go of a former first-round pick at the same position, and it looks a lot like they cleared the runway for Hemingway to take over. That's not an accident. That's a plan. Coming up, we'll break down exactly why this defensive tackle room has been such a mess, and why that actually works in Hemingway's favor. Let's not sugarcoat it. This defensive tackle group has been thin on proven talent. Last season, not a single interior lineman graded out particularly well by advanced metrics. That's rough. But it also explains exactly why Hemingway is standing out so much right now. When the bar is low, real improvement gets noticed fast. Now imagine this defensive line on paper. One dominant edge rusher lined up outside, a steady veteran at nose tackle, and Hemingway holding down the interior as a disruptive 3 technique. That combination could genuinely be the most talented defensive line this roster has had in years. Here's your comment challenge. If this defense turns things around this season, who do you think deserves the credit? Drop a name below, the coaching staff, the front office, or a specific player. Let's see what Raider Nation says. There's also been buzz connecting the Raiders to a possible trade for a veteran nose tackle. If that move happens, it wouldn't replace Hemingway, it would actually boost him. A true nose tackle eating up blockers in the middle would free Hemingway to focus purely on getting after the quarterback as a 3 technique, which is exactly where his skill set shines. So here's the real question. If that trade goes through, does it raise the ceiling on this entire defensive line? A lot of fans think so. And honestly, it's hard to argue with that logic. But don't leave yet, because the next part might be the most convincing reason of all, and it's coming straight from his own teammates. When it's coaches hyping up a player, sure, that's normal. But when it's the guys competing against him every single day in practice, that means something different. Multiple teammates on the defensive line have publicly praised Hemingway's game this camp, specifically calling out how explosive and fluid he looks off the snap. Reports mention his background as a multi-sport athlete in high school, which likely explains the natural body control scouts have talked about. That kind of athleticism is difficult to teach. There's also a subtle roster dynamic worth mentioning. One veteran lineman on this roster has historically played his best football in a rotational role rather than as the clear starter. If Hemingway locks down the starting job, it could actually put every piece of this line in its ideal position, with each player doing what they do best instead of being stretched into a role that doesn't fit. So where does that leave us? A young defensive tackle who struggled as a rookie has completely turned the corner. He's earning first-team representatives, drawing praise from insiders and teammates alike, and stepping into a room that desperately needed a spark. If the coaching staff continues giving him the opportunity, There's a very real chance he becomes a full-time starter this season, and a key building block for this defense moving forward. This is the kind of story that reminds you why training camp matters. Not every breakout is hype. Some of them are real, and this one looks like it has legs. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next update as camp continues. And don't forget to drop your comment challenge answer below. Who gets the credit if this defense turns it around this year? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.